everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Artisan Power here, and in today's project video we're going to be turning this 4x8 sheet of oak 3/4 inch plywood into a stage sign for a friend of mine. Greg Rowles down at the Alabama Theater in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina contacted me through my Instagram page. He really admired my scroll saw work and asked could I make a sign for him. And the sign he wants to make is for a Country and Gospel Special concert that's going to be held at the Alabama Theater in January of 2020. I graciously said yes and accepted the task, and I now have what will be the sign here on my workbench. As you can see, it takes up the entire workbench. I had to take off the sticker swap sticker box and move it just so I could get the plywood up here. But he sent me the logo he wanted used as the sign, and it's just his signature, how he signs his name, which is real cool. And I printed it out, went to an office supply store and got a slick made. And what that is just a clear piece of acrylic with the actual logo on it. And obviously this is way too small for the sign, so I'm going to use some old school technology. If you're around my age, in your early 30s, you're going to remember your teacher bringing an overhead projector into the classroom to do work on for all the students to be able to see the work using the overhead projector. I have an overhead projector in the shop. It's behind the camera. I'm going to lay the transfer sheet with the logo onto it and position the overhead projector to where I can make the logo as big as I can and use up most of this plywood. So right now what I've got to do is move the camera over, position the overhead projector, turn the lights out, and start tracing out the letters. Let's get started. And using the overhead projector to throw the logo onto the wood, I'm taking just a basic number 2 pencil and tracing out the letters. Just making the lines dark enough to where I can see what I'm doing. And Greg Rowles is an amazing dude, and I will leave a link down in the description to the Instagram page of the Alabama Theater in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And when I get done tracing all of these lines, I will be taking the piece of wood outside and setting it up on the sawhorses and using my new cordless Craftsman jigsaw to rough out the letters. And I'm just breaking it down outside because it's very difficult to break down a full sheet of plywood in the workshop. I can do it, it just takes a lot of moving around and moving tools around, so I just set it up out here, and it was a nice day to do it. And then once I got all of the letters roughed out, I came over to the scroll saw and cut out the individual letters like the O, the E, letters like that, and I'm using number 5 Ultra Reverse sharp tooth scroll saw blades, and they cut through this oak plywood like butter. If you guys like what you're seeing, I would encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also go and follow me over on Instagram at Artisan Pirate. I have started doing a lot of Instagram stories showing what I'm doing in the shop when I'm not filming on a day-to-day basis. So I highly encourage you to follow my Instagram page. And going along here, and when we get done with this letter, this is where I wrapped it up for this day. I laid all the letters out on my main work table to see how everything looked. And the next morning I come in and moved the letters and took some masking tape and put along the lines of the pieces I'm going to have to cut out with the jigsaw. Masking tape will reduce a lot of the chip out from the more aggressive cut of a jigsaw. So I taped over every cut line with masking tape here. And this is the big G in the R in Greg Rowles' name, and this is the smaller GL but still too big to cut out over on the scroll saw. And then I went back and retraced the lines with an ink pen, and now I've got my corded Jigsaw for a little bit more power and longevity with the power of the cord. And I have a very fine tooth blade attached to it. And I'm sorry about showing my back so much. I really don't have nowhere to mount the camera where it was a good view of me cutting this out. And it was just a long, slow process. It took me about an hour to do this one logo here. But I got it done. Just had the music going and got lost in my world. And now that all the letters are cut out, it's time to do the initial sanding with 100 grit sandpaper on my palm sander. And I went through and sanded the front and back of every letter. And I still have a ton of finished sanding left to do. But for this video, after the sanding here was done, the project was complete. And here we have the completed Greg Rowles concert stage sign. I think it looked real good. My job here is done. Only thing I've got to do is do a lot more detail sanding. I've probably got another day's worth of sanding to do on this project, especially getting down into the nooks and crannies of all the letters that have sharp turns and really getting in there with some detail sanders and all. But I think this is going to be a phenomenal project and a great stage sign for the Alabama Theater in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. When this project is completely done, I will pack it up and take it down to Greg Rowles down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and then his stage crew will take it from there and paint it and mount it up for the concert that's in January. If you guys are down there and see this sign, just know that the Artisan Pirate had a hand in making it. I hope you guys like this video. I know I learned a lot during this video and making this project, because this was one of the bigger projects that I've attempted here recently and also tried to document on film. But that's about all for this video. Remember guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.